Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Mild, for the introduction and for encouraging Susan to sing that song for us. So I want to make sure that everyone realizes that they are welcome here. We love having you with us. I want to greet you in a very special way to let you know that you are welcome in this place, in this time, and in this space. The science of mind is a correlation of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the revelation of religion applied to human need and the aspirations of humankind. It is also the study of life and the nature of the laws of thought, the conception that we live in a spiritual universe, that God is in us, around us, and for us, and there is nothing against us. That's two definitions of the science of mind. There are others, but those I like the best because they really tell the truth in a very clear and understandable way. Also, I want to say welcome to the Connecticut Center for Spiritual Living. We are a center of one of the 600 centers around the world that are affiliated with and created by Centers for Spiritual Living based in Colorado. Denver, Colorado. So here's a quote from Home Office. They offered this quote when they suggested the topic. The rest I had to create on my own. So here's the quote they created. It says, quote, "We are inseparable from God. The one bridge that links all life together is divine intelligence that is back of all things. It is in the nature of our own being to be in community, to feel connected, and to establish a sense of belonging." End of quote. Isn't that true about all humanity? Well, let's look deeper. I was thinking about all the ways in which we feel connected and want to be connected. And I found a quote from David Suzuki, and he says, he's an environmentalist, by the way, and he says, that is what is called a web of life. I like the idea of the web of life. You know, you ever see a spider put webs out and you wonder if they really walk around all the places that they put the webs? Well, they're always on the lookout for something to eat. And that's what that web is about. But the web of life is not for us to look for something to eat, but for something to experience, something to realize as we connect with each other, with one another. Holmes says on page 123, "We observe in creation an atomic intelligence, then a simple consciousness, after which comes a personal consciousness, then a cosmic consciousness." He says these variations of consciousness are definitely defined and accepted by most investigators. As we watch the transition from the atomic to the simple intelligence, from the simple to the personal intelligence, from the personal to the cosmic intelligence, we find that we are merely going up a scale of unity. I like that idea because I don't like going anywhere else but up. The spirit is not something apart from matter, so-called, but is something working through matter. The potential possibility of what we call the highest and lowest is inherent in everything. They are not different things. They are the same thing functioning as different levels. It is neither low here nor low there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within. That's on a quote from the Bible. So here, cosmetic consciousness speaks of our non-physical divine connection, indicating the principle of oneness. That's one of the guiding principles of science of mind, oneness. It's the first principle. Oneness meaning that we are one of and one with and never shall be separated from God. God can never be separated from his creation. And you are a divine creation of God. I said divine creation of God, made in the image and likeness of God. And you can never be separated from God, even if you misbehave or think that you've displeased, because we don't believe in this. We don't think you displeased God. God is still with you in love, pure love, and without judgment. You know, in the Bible, it says God is not a judge. God is a presence personified in us. The cosmic connection then, excuse me, is critical in spiritual practice. If you don't understand the cosmic connection helps us all to go deeper into our spiritual practice. It is vital. It spells out creation's intention in terms of how we need to live in the physical experience and in this tangible life that we have been given, knowing that separation is not a divine intention. That's true. Separation is not a divine intention. It's not a divine idea. And we are created in that image out of the same stuff. We are called to live in the highest consciousness of love. Do you understand that? We are called to live in the highest consciousness of love as divine beings. And when we live in that consciousness with our fellow human beings, we are happier. If you want to experience real happiness, try to love somebody unconditionally and try to accept their love back as unconditionally as you possibly can. And you will experience happiness that cannot be described or even put on paper. We provide for one another because there is love, because there's a connection. We care for one another because it feels natural, and it feels natural because that's of our nature, to be connected. We respect one another. Hopefully we do it every time. We don't always do that, but we respect one another and we love one another. This is all about the cosmic connection. Cosmic connection is non-physical. When it speaks of the cosmic, it speaks of a universal connection. So that's what cosmic consciousness is, universal consciousness. When our life seems to be out of touch, out of sync, and not working, it is rooted in a consciousness of separation and division. That's what happens. When we feel that our life is not working, it's because we have slipped into a consciousness of separation. And that's the lie. That's not the truth of being. We are happy when we live in the truth, when we live connected. We are unhappy when we don't live in the truth because we are disconnected and we feel separated. Division never brings happiness, always unhappiness, because that's not our nature. It's natural for you to be happy when you are feeling connected. The connection didn't make you happy. The connection is just part of your naturalness. And when you see that happening, when you experience that happening, you really have a cosmic conscious connection. On page 449 of The Science of Mind, Holmes says, this is the lesson in the brotherhood of man. God is the androgynous principle and the father, mother of all. Our earthly parents symbolize the heavenly parentage. Jesus was a conscious cosmic soul who recognized his unity with all. He knew that love must become universal before it can reach into experience, before it can come to maturity. Hence, he said that all who live in harmony with truth are brothers in it. You see, by cosmic consciousness, what we really mean, as I explained before, is oneness, one's consciousness with the whole. This is not a mystery, however, but the self-knowingness of God through man. Illumination will come as man and more become realized in his unity of the whole, and as he constantly endeavors to let the truth operate through him. You'll find that on page 420. We have to let the truth operate. We don't have to make an effort. It's an effort when we feel like we have to work hard at it. We don't have to try and make love happen. We have to try and let love happen. How much good do you really want to experience in this life you've been given? How much good do you want to experience? As much good as possible that you would like to have is already present. The thing is that we were born into this goodness, but we were also talked out of it as we grew up. We were also trained to believe that life is tough, life is hard, it's difficult. People really don't want you to have goodness. And we grow up to believe that. And when we believe that, we bring it into our lives and we act like it really is true, and we create more difficulty. Do you see the mistake? We go back to the basics, all of that will melt away. Good is not something that is being withheld. When you and I come into this life, or came into this life, into this world, everything necessary for our well-being was there waiting for us to grow into, develop, and experience. Think about that. When you were born, everything necessary for your well-being was already waiting for you to come into the place of experiencing it. And that's how you grew up. You know, that's how our parents take care of us. That's how things happen. Sometimes we say, I don't know how that happened, but it happened. I'm sure everybody who's listening and everybody who's not listening has had this experience where something surprisingly happened and they couldn't explain it. It's because it was already there to take place for them, something good and wonderful. Cosmic consciousness pertains to the cosmos meaning the cosmic world. The world that of oneness, wholeness, unity. See, I truly believe that when we live and walk and have our being in this cosmic consciousness, we will be living in the more, not the less. We will be living in love, not in hate, in peace, not in disunity, in unity, not in fear, separation, division, and isolation. But that's what we experience because a lot of us are not conscious that we have the opportunity to have this cosmic consciousness of love that keeps us happy, joyful, satisfied, fulfilled. Oh yeah, you're going to say, well, you know, because things are bad right now, we talk about all that goodness. Well, I couldn't find a better time to talk about it. And the more we become aware of it, the less of the so-called disunity and badness that people are fearful about and having experienced, the less that will show up. But this is why we must do our part in making wise choices for our lives. It is better for your health. It is better for your heart. I am talking about the physical you now. When we make good choices, it helps our heart to live longer, better, work more efficiently, and keep us happier and more in peace. That's called a global heart. How is your global heart? I want to again point out that by cosmic consciousness, we mean oneness consciousness, consciousness of the whole. This is not a mystery. It is self-knowingness of God through man. Illumination will come as more men, more humanity, more and more realize their unity with the whole. And as we constantly endeavor to let the truth operate through us, cosmic consciousness will bring us into happiness and peace. The cosmic connection is critical, as I said before, in spiritual practice. If we don't do that, we get stuck in our world of tangibility, and we get stuck in neediness because we have not embraced the truth of our being. Buddha talks about the eightfold way. Some of them are right view, right intention, right speech, right mindfulness, right concentration, right meditation, all of those. So how is your heart? How is your heart in this COVID time? This time when the world, it's not just the United States, the whole world is experiencing a pandemic of a very destroying virus that can take lives. And we know how many lives have been taken just here in the United States. Your heart breaks, my heart breaks when I think about all those people who have died and all those people who are grieving because of their loss. That has to be an ache in everybody's heart. So how do we heal the ache? We go back to the basics. When we go back to the basics, we discover that every human being, those that have passed and those who are still alive, are made in the image and likeness of God, and that dying creates their experience of God more quickly because they pass from this physical life and enter into the non-physical realization and experience of the great love, the great creator. It's hard to say this, but death does not end our life. It begins a new life for us, where we don't have a virus, but we don't have to die to get rid of it. And I know that we will. And I want you to not feel paralysis because it causes people to feel they cannot make a decision. If you're suffering from what is called anticipatory grief, think about cosmic consciousness, cosmic love that's available to you right now. You are embraced by everyone else around you right now, especially in this service that we're talking about, talking to each other. You are embraced. As we see so many people dying, so many families in deep grief, we need to pray for them. We are sad that people lose their families, and we want to embrace those who have left and in the sadness and the grief with love, embrace them with love, with prayers of love and peace, and a realization of a cosmic consciousness that allows them to continue to feel connected. Because when somebody dies, they don't leave you. Their bodies no longer are present, but they never leave you. Love does not separate, love unites. We are separated only in our consciousness. But the truth is, we are inseparable from God. The one bridge that links all life together is divine intelligence that is back of all things. It is our nature to be in community. I read this earlier to you. It's from the Home Office. It is in our nature to feel connected and to establish a sense of belonging. And that is experienced more fully when we become aware and live in the cosmic consciousness of the truth of our being. In the idea of cosmic consciousness, we find that we are merely moving up a scale of unity. Yes, we're moving up a scale. Remember I said I like going up. We're moving up a scale of unity, of oneness, of understanding, of love, of unity, of peace. Heal your heart and let infinite wisdom guide your life into right thinking, right focus, right connection, right conversation. All these things participate together to help us to develop a stronger cosmic consciousness. We are all living in the web of life, individually and collectively. Yet we are each responsible for creating a world that works for everyone. This is the grand vision of our Home Office and all our centers. We are working to help create a world that works for everyone. I am convinced if everybody in the world understood what cosmic consciousness means and how it relates to our peace, joy, happiness, and oneness, there will be a world that works for everyone, because everyone will consciously allow love to be the central place, energy that drives action. Try focusing on love. Try focusing on love for all people as a spiritual practice. So what if when you went out today, you saw some people walking around and you said, those are people of love. They're made in the image and likeness of God, and they are made of love, just like me. And we are love. We are related in love. It could be a good daily diet to help us overcome whatever sadness we feel, whatever is going on. We simply can overcome any sadness and any sense of lack when we fall in love with the idea of cosmic consciousness. In consciousness, in the cosmic world, we find that we are merely going up this scale. The spirit is not something apart from matter. The spirit is matter manifest. So I wish for you a wonderful week with your loved ones and with all those you meet, and that you have a nice full week. And when we come back next week, tomorrow, we will do this again. Not talk about cosmic love. We will show how to practice cosmic love, and we will again invite you to be a participant, maybe to share some of that. And I know that all is well. Move up the scale of unity and become the bridge over troubled waters. A lot of people need the bridge. Become the bridge. I'm challenging you now to become the bridge. Are you willing to do that? It's not hard. It's love. Love in action will be the bridge over troubled waters. I love you. I want you to feel that love for yourself and your family and everyone you meet. And God bless you. Amen. So it is. Namaste. Well, this is the time at the end of what I have to say on Sunday mornings when we open it up for an opportunity for you to ask a question, for you to say, what did you mean? Or I understand, or is there another way? Ask a question. Any question that you have about what you heard and what was going on in you when you heard it, you can do that. And then what we'll do is look at our affirmation again and see if there is something more relevant than when we first read it. Okay, let's try that. And please, I want everybody who's still present to go through this one more time. Let us read this together. In this moment, knowing that there is something of God existing in all creation, something that is divine life essence, I know that I am made in the image and likeness of God, with the life of God as my essence. It is that life by which I live and move and have my being. Every moment is that divine life moving in me. That breath I breathe is the breath of God. It is knowing this truth that gives me light. That is love in me. That is peace in me. That is joy and wholeness in me. This is the aliveness in me. I am truly living my divine life right now. Indeed, it is all that I am, right here and right now. And so it is. So if you'd close your eyes and just remember that God is present here right now, right where we are. It doesn't matter where, because God is not limited by space and time. God is present right now, right where you are, right where I am. And that presence is the presence of unconditional love, true, pure, cosmic love. Love that transcends all human experience. Love that is so pure and unconditional that it has absolutely no needs. It does not even need to be returned. That love is pure and has no needs. This is the love that has convinced me not only to believe more, but to begin to realize in my daily work that I can express that I can recognize that I can feel that. And I know this is true about everybody who's listening right now, who's participating right now, that this love becomes more real to them, this cosmic love that is universal. And that we can indeed, by realizing this in our own lives, become the bridge for someone else who's experiencing troubled waters in their life, so to speak, who are experiencing the opposite of true cosmic love. We send a blessing to all the people who have passed and have entered into the presence. And we remember their loved ones who are here, many of them still grieving, heartbroken, feeling lost, and having trouble settling back into a life on planet Earth. We surround them with love, knowing that this cosmic love surrounds them, comforts them, and helps them to find their way to begin a new life with a new realization of their oneness. Peace is at hand for all these people. Peace. I declare that as we together begin to become more aware of how we can be so that this virus continues to disappear, that no longer takes so many lives, that no longer takes even one life. It is up to us to be the bridge and to live that life. I give thanks for each person here and each home represented, knowing that all is well and that we are open now to realize the goodness that is already there for us. I know that all is well. I turn this over now to a power greater than I am to bring to pass this prayer. And so it is. Amen. All right, so let us have an affirmation to close with. And the affirmation is, something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I receive it. I share it. I am it. And I accept it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. And so it is. And Susan now is going to play the peace song for us, and we could all join in and have a wonderful week to start off the week like this. Can you imagine starting off every day like this? It'd be great, just great. Okay, open up your hearts and get ready to sing.